Hey guys, I'm currently on page 58 of Raybearer, and so far this book is amazing. It is super bingeable, and also this is the first time I'm annotating, so it's super fun for me. I love how this book is progressing. I love how the magic is being set up, and of course I love the intrigue in the book. Like, there has just been a time jump, and I was actually waiting for this because before this the MC was pretty young, so I was wondering what was gonna happen. There has been a time jump, and now it's slowly getting more and more interesting, and it's super bingeable. I wonder if I can finish it in one day. Let's find out. Hey friends, I am approximately 100 pages into the book right now, and I am thoroughly enjoying it. This book is just so much fun to read. It is so well written. I think my favorite aspect is the world building. You must have heard by now that Raybearer has been described as one of the best fantasies of 2020, and I can see why. I also look kind of horrible, but anyway, I can see why, because the world building is probably one of the best that I've read in a while. Plot-wise, this story is absolutely phenomenal. The plot is so intriguing, and character-wise, the book is okay. The main character is interesting, doesn't have the usual tropes of YA, so it's definitely like a different kind of read, but it's definitely very intense. The story is getting more and more intense all the time, so like, I'm super excited to see where this goes. Hi everybody. I have clearly not been updating my read, but I have finished quite a bit. Let me show you how much. This much. I love annotating, and I realized that I really like this process. It is weirdly therapeutic. I have finished quite a bit. So as I mentioned before, this book does not have the usual why my double chin. This book does not have the usual YA tropes, so it is definitely like a really fresh read. It has a lot of very strong traditional world building, like world building in the traditional aspect. Basically, the world is extremely rich. The world is so good. The magic is okay, like it makes sense, it serves its purpose, it is pretty interesting. So yeah, that's also pretty great. Plot wise, this story is so good. It is what I would call a slow burn plot. So pacing wise, perhaps like this book isn't the fastest paced book that there is. I'm taking my time reading it, mostly because I'm really like savoring the amount of time that I'm spending in this book because it's so rich and it's a slow burn plot. Like, I've realized so far there has been a payoff for almost everything that had been set up. So I'm in that part of the book where like I go like, oh, so when that person said that, now this is like a callback to that. This is now like it was set up in the first or in the second act, and now everything is paying off. So almost everything is connected in this book and nothing was unnecessary. I think every single plot point was there for a reason. So now as a reader, I'm getting all these Easter eggs of sorts because I know that like, oh, this was in the first part of the book or this was in the second part of the book. And this book has taken some wild turns which I'm enjoying so much. This book also has a lot of social commentary. It's a very like feminist book. I'm not gonna say anything, but it's gonna spoil stuff for you. But this book is amazing and it has a redemption arc, which in my eyes is so well done because that person who gets a redemption doesn't even get a point of view chapter. This book only has one point of view. There aren't different points of views. That redemption arc makes so much sense and it is so well rooted in the theme of the book and like in the theme of politics and patriarchy and how these things are kind of basically making people's lives difficult. So yeah, I'm gonna keep reading, and here are some pretty clips from my vacation for you guys. Update as I read the climax of the book. This book is absolutely genius. It's perfect. Like something just happened, like the climax something is happening, and I cannot tell you what, but something is happening which is perfect. I mean, everything has led up to this, and the best part is that everything has indeed led up to this, and it has me at the edge of my seat. And now I'm gonna F right off because I want to finish this because it is freaking good. Hey guys, so I am in the final few pages of the book, and this book took me places where I really did not expect it to take me at all. There are so many twists and turns, but the best part is that the twists are not like horror movie jump scares where they come out of nowhere. Every twist kind of had its little seed planted a lot earlier in the story. I'm actually glad I could finish this book today itself, which means that my eyes have gone for a toss. Always love it when that happens. This book missed nothing. Like, it did not miss a single beat. Like, everything was there for a reason. There is a character death, and I'm not sure how I feel about the character death. I mean, I love it, but I still don't know how I feel about the character because the character was that gray, which makes it pretty amazing. I still don't know whether I like the character or I hate them, which is why I like them. I like the character and how complex they are, but I don't think that I like the character. You know what I mean? Yeah. I finally finished the book, and as you can tell, I had to take a shower and really gather my thoughts in the shower because I have so many. Now, as you guys know, this is not just a vlog. So my thoughts on Raybearer. Number one, I don't usually say this like on... My hair isn't wet enough. I don't usually mention star ratings on my channel or my blog. If you want to follow my star ratings, you need to follow me on Goodreads. But this book is a very clear 5-star read for me. And it's not like in the 5-star section, but actually 4.5 stars. This book is the 5-star book for me. It is one of my favorite reads of the year. So far, the 2 books that have made the cut have been like very clearly made the cut. The number 1 book has been not the number 1, like 3 books, not in any particular order. First would be 6 of Crows, second would be A Song of Wraiths and Ruin, and the third would be Raybearer. The rest of them are definitely like, I like them, I've placed them on my 5-star shelves, but like it has been like not quite 5 stars, like definitely in the zone, but these 3 are like definitely 5-star reads. Raybearer is way up there. Remember earlier in the vlog, sometime I said that the characters are fine, like they aren't bad, they're just fine. Yeah, I take that back. The characters are phenomenal. Touching my hair a bit too much, but like I needed to finger coil it, but now it's too dry. You know what? Screw it. I'm not gonna touch my hair anymore. It's giving me a headache. Look at like how much I've annotated. It makes me so happy because first of all, it's color coded, which makes me so happy too. Everything about this book was really good. So if you're into fantasy, you are genuinely gonna like this book. Like, I know that I talk pretty positively about most books, but it was absolutely phenomenal. It was such a good read. Now, since this is a review, say hi. Since this is a review, I want to talk a bit more about like characters, plot. Let's get into the nitty-gritties just a little bit. Starting with the characters. I'm not gonna comment on who I liked and who I did not like because this book has a lot of plot twists. I'm not gonna mention anything about the characters because there are a couple of characters I loved, but then initially I was so suspicious of them. So I don't want to say that I really like this character or this character is a cinnamon roll because I want you guys to find out for yourself, because I did have a couple of theories which turned out to be false. So this book does take some unpredictable turns. Anyway, I should talk about the main character, at least Tarisai. And Tarisai, I think, was one of the realest protagonists I've ever read. I found her extremely relatable. I found her extremely genuine. For the most part, pretty innocent. And like, you know, there are these kind of characters who are just really good. Like, they are always trying to do the right thing. Tarisai was one of those characters. I think she shared an extremely interesting relationship with her mother. It was one of the highlights of the story for me. That relationship was mind-blowingly well written. I also really appreciated her relationship with her council siblings and, you know, the rest of the cast. When it comes to pacing, the book is fine. I did not really fly through this book like I did with Cemetery Boys, but this book was definitely dense. It's a YA fantasy. For a YA fantasy, it is incredibly dense. This is what I would call like an epic YA fantasy, and there was a lot to unpack here in terms of world building and magic systems. So the world building was, I think I'm going to use the word phenomenal pretty frequently in this review because the world building was phenomenal. I learned a lot about the culture that exists in the world, and this world in itself is like a mix of different cultures and different things. So it was just how I like it. It was incredibly immersive and incredibly well written, and I just learned so much about the culture that this has been inspired from. And like, this book actually takes the time to kind of really pull you into the culture and the traditions. The plot was so good. I loved the ending. This is a real compliment because so many books are great, but then the ending either feels rushed or like doesn't feel earned, or like there's something wrong in it, like, you know, just like by a little bit something is wrong with it. But with this book, I have nothing bad to say about the plot. There are quite a few plot twists, but there were two in particular which I just, when it happened, I was just like, I mean, you must have seen my reaction. So again, I think I've mentioned this before while I was vlogging. This book has a lot of like social commentary, for example, like on gender equality and power and corruption and authority, leadership, what is justice, what is the world. Really, this book has a lot to say about all of those things and more. It has so much to say about like the connections people form with each other, about family, about like maternal relationships, paternal relationships, how they can be extremely messy, but like there's like so many layers to it. I loved it. I think that this book had some amazing social commentary and it is woven seamlessly into the story. I was never pulled out of this story. I mean, you must have seen, if you are following my reviews or my vlogs, I am hypersensitive about these details because I write too, and I have an extremely critical eye when it comes to reading other people's books or manuscripts, because I'm constantly trying to learn myself. I'm constantly trying to learn like just the right, like the level, like it should never be this or even this, it has to be this. So even if like I feel that I have been pulled out of the story for a second, I'm just like, I do mention them in my reviews because I want to be as open with you guys as possible. Even if the book was a 5-star read, I still think that, like, I even say, or like a 4-star or 4.5-star read, I always say that, okay guys, I loved it, but like a couple of places it did pull me out of the story. Never happened with this book, not once. And I took my time with this book. It's not like I really like rushed through it. I took my time with the book because it was so good. The characters are super interesting, all of them. I won't say that every single one of them, actually, you know, everyone does have like an arc, sort of. And like there's this one person who showcases how you know, when people kind of learn more and more about the world and they're exposed to more and more things, and like they have more questions about the world, and because of those questions they become unpopular amongst people who are kind of close-minded. And like I just love it when like characters have these like internal conflicts which gives rise to external conflicts, but it is with people and like it is with ideas which they actually previously loved and they kind of still love. Basically, I like messy affairs. Okay, I really like them. I like it when there's a lot of conflict, and I like characters exploring their darkest corners and like questioning everything and their morality and their ideologies, and I just love to see characters in pain. And there's a lot of pain in this book. It's not a grim read, it's still a pretty hopeful, like it has a bittersweet ending. I think that's the best way I can describe it to you. It has a bittersweet ending. This writer has really given us a masterpiece, and when it comes to YA fantasy, I think this book should go down in history as one of the best. I think it has all the technical like necessities, everything that is needed to be a technical masterpiece. I'm extremely excited for the sequel, and I think this is the end of the vlog. It's extremely long. I've been talking for 15 minutes. This is gonna be one long vlog. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, guys. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Leave your comments down below. Subscribe to my channel. Go follow me on Twitter. Go follow me on Instagram. Go follow me on my blog. And bye.